Yeah, listen to that tequila getting poured. We are back, everybody, live for another episode of Spill the Tequila here on the John Rocha channel. Thank you all so much for joining us here. I am the titular John Rocha, joined as always by the king of swag himself with a new cut there, Winston A. Marshall. How are you, Winston?
Ooh,
look at that thing.
So fresh, so clean. I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. It's been a busy day and a busy already week. Christmas season. The Lady Outlaw's been making Christmas cookies for 2 days for everybody in the neighborhood and friends that live near us as well, or family members. So she's been on one, let me tell you. So I stay out of the kitchen. I stay in this office for the last 48 hours, pretty much. So,
it's like the antithesis of all the hard work you've been putting in. I don't blame you to be like, nah, son. No. Baby, that's real sweet. Do it over there.
Exactly. She's like, you don't come in this kitchen. You need to wipe your feet, take a shower before you come in this kitchen. Like, it's a whole thing. So yeah, but it's been fun times. And, we're only like 9 days away from Christmas. It's kind of weird. Our job, Winston, we don't get a lot of time to kind of sit down for a moment and be like, it's Christmas, because we're just constantly working from one thing to the next. How are you feeling, man?
No, that's kind of where I'm at. And it sucks at times, just because like, it's not even like, I know that your channel's doing like well, that like, you're able to like, you got to work a lot, but like it's consistent. It's this, for me, it's this bouncing all over the place crap. Like I like all the stuff that I do, but it will drain the life out of you because you have to keep switching gears.
Yep.
And on top of that, trying to manage multiple schedules always not great, because then it's like, okay, we have our set time, so that's easy. But then like, the stuff I do with Christian, having to sort that out, like Blurds is at the same time, but like, since I fully produced that show, like trying to sort the time out to do that, my own personal stuff. Then you got a day job, then you got like a relationship, now you got a dog. Like, it's all of these things that just like add up. And those of us that work more than one job, that's where you start to get real just effed in the head, because you just have to worry. Everybody is like, well, my thing's the most important, pay attention to it.
Right. So, I hope you don't feel that from me. I love doing this.
Not at all, because
it's always
we sorted this out. When we decided to do this consistently at this time, we talked about it. I specifically was like, great. Because I have said that for other products that I do, I was like, if we could just carve out time it's consistent, then I don't care. Right. But it's when it's a variable that it's like, shit, okay, how do I plug this in this time? You know what I mean? So
right. That's what because the first few weeks we did the show, there was a playing around with time.
Right.
And then Winston made it real clear, like, if we lock this down, I need this to be locked down. I was like, you know what? I totally get it. We'll do that from now on. And then today we just had to move it an hour, and I asked Winston, if he could. And so if he could, we would have gone at 4. I had to drop a lot of videos today, so I wanted to create like 3 or 4 hours in between each video, so that we could keep it consistent and people wouldn't feel overwhelmed by the stuff. So Winston was very gracious to let us push to 5.
Totally understand. And like that's all. I mean, stuff comes up. So it's not to say that like I can't be flexible about things. It's just more, if somebody wants my attention all the time, then it's better that I need like a consistency, versus if you just need me for this one particular, like right before we started, while I was a little bit late, I got an audition.
Nice.
And so it's tomorrow. So then all of a sudden it's like, shit, okay, what is my schedule? Unfortunately, the way my schedule is set up tomorrow, it should be fine. I have the day pretty open, other than a production meeting, therapy, and then Blurred. So I was like, all right, I can squeeze that in, versus like, if it had happened today, I would have been like, I don't know, blow it all up. I'm done. I don't.
I know, this is the game. I remember when I was working at Universal Studios full time, and then having to drive all over town to host recap shows for no money. By the way, I didn't make any money for the first 2 years. I hosted shows in the business. Oh yeah, no, nothing. Because I'm from that time where everyone was like, you better earn it. You better show me you're dedicated.
Sure.
And so they were, so I did a lot of shows, but then it was also in a place of like, well, listen, I got to get my name out there. So if I got to put miles on the car, I got to put miles on the car, because people need to know who I am. So I was always happy to do it. Then eventually, of course, Collider was very kind to pay me. Starting out, Campia was the guy who was there, $25 a show to host the Flash show. But it was something just to get more experience on camera, and then eventually, so it's the game sometimes. So yeah, I get it, bro. Driving all around.
We all play
schedules. Yeah, we have played, of course, for sure. But we're here not to talk about old times in our. We're here to talk about stuff that's going on in the world of entertainment, and we appreciate you all hanging out with us today. Remember, Streamlabs and Super Chats are open. It's pinned in the chats and description of the video as well. Sending you love, sending your questions, thoughts, and comments. We appreciate you all joining us at a later time than our usual time. But we're going to get into things here, so let's not waste any time here, Winston. Let's jump into this thing. I don't know if you noticed this, Winston, but there was an Avengers Doomsday trailer that was leaked, and then there was an AI 4K version of the trailer that was up-resed and posted.
Oh,
but the biggest one, Winston, is that today a Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer allegedly dropped here. Now, we're not going to go into the specifics of what's in the leak trailer because I think that's kind of crossing a line for some people.
Yeah.
But if you watched it, it was like a minute and 15 seconds or whatever. It is Tom Holland. It is Peter Parker. So now we start to be in a place of like, what is really going on here? Because if you look at the leak, it's like clearly on a computer, and you're starting to wonder what's going on here. So I put this in the title of the show and on the thumbnail, and I got to ask you, is Marvel leaking these trailers on purpose to get people talking about this stuff before it comes out? Because we're supposed to Captain America starting Thursday on the Avengers, on the Avatar films.
Mm-hmm.
But is this a strategy, kind of like the chairs thing? Is this their way of maybe going a little bit rebellious with their PR marketing? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't necessarily think so, because the one I saw of the Captain America one, had in Portuguese at the end, like Steve Rogers will return in Avengers Doomsday was like the last thing it said. And I know that was supposedly they were showing some stuff at whatever the Brazilian Comic-Con was happening like a week, 2 weeks, however many weeks ago it was.
Right.
So I didn't necessarily like think that was full blown on purpose, because that's the one I saw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it past the idea of them potentially. It just doesn't make entirely too much sense, just because I know Christian kept insisting, because people love the internet that much and all that kind of stuff, that it's like they need to put them out at the same time. The internet's more important than putting it in the theater.
Yeah.
And I both sort of agree and disagree. I get it from like the reaction side of things, how all of us that do this, and everything else, where that kind of lives. I still think it would have been better, and that's why I do think it was a true leak, to let it start off with Avatar, and then show it like I said, you could wait the weekend, but if you don't want to do that, then just at least drop it Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it go Thursday and Friday. Sure, somebody will probably leak it at their shitty little cameras like they did in that time, but give it like a day or two just for people to see it on the big screen how it should be, and then do all that. The Spider-Man one, I'm even less inclined to believe that Marvel's doing that, because yes, Marvel has a large controlling stake in how this is playing out. Yeah, but it's still a Sony thing, and Sony don't be doing that. Sony's not about that life. If anything, they were furious when No Way Home stuff leaked. Like they were big mad about that shit. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's what's going on, but I also know that they are, for lack of a better word, a little bit desperate. They need this to work.
I guess that's why I'm asking that, because to me, because I watched the Spider-Man leaked trailer, and it looks like it's coming off someone's computer, and I'm in my head going, who has access to these trailers that they would get online before they're even out in the theaters or before they're out online on YouTube channel? I just have a lot of suspicion around this, and I'm not putting in a tinfoil hat. It's more a matter of like, how are they getting access to these trailers to leak them, finished trailers, to leak them and put them out on the internet? And I go, well, maybe there's young people in charge of their marketing right now. And we know, even Winston, who's way younger than I am, the young people, like, they're playing in a whole nother sandbox than we grew up in terms of marketing, in terms of publicity, in terms of what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do. Right. And it would not surprise me that this is their kind of crafty way of building up buzz? Because as you said, they're desperate for this stuff and getting people hyped up and getting people talking about it so that when they go in the theater to see the trailer, when it drops online, there's like even more of an anticipation to see the cleaned up version of it. It just gives me questions. Who has access to these trailers to be leaking them? And they're not taking them all down. I thought they would be copywriting the shit out of these guys.
I mean, the Spider-Man one is gone. Like by the time, like I opened up Twitter for like a split second and I saw somebody asking you about it. You saying I did put Spider-Man on the thumbnail. So then I was like, all right, let me real quick try and look. They're all gone.
Oh,
I
good
can
point.
still find the Steve Rogers one floating about, but the Spider-Man is all gone. And the only one that I found didn't even make sense. And I was like, this is just AI bullshit, because it was like, other than the very basic movements that don't make sense because they look kind of soulless, Tom Holland was using his British accent. So what in what world is Peter all of a sudden, you used to know me, I was Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and now you don't know me, but you're about to know me. Like, I was just like, what? This is not real. This is dumb. So, I would not be surprised if maybe MCU solo dolo stuff, so Doomsday maybe, but Sony don't play that. They because this is one of the few things that has really been rock solid for them. They're not trying to run the risk of their shit getting out before it needs to get out. Again, I know this is an MCU production, but it's produced by Sony, so it's just So I don't know. I'm a maybe on Doomsday, no on Spider-Man would be my answer.
Okay. Well, what do you think now? Because we've had, we're going to find out. Obviously, we're going to see what this trailer looks like. I mean, them taking it down gives me questions even more. Like, well, why would they take it down if it's fake? So I wonder if maybe there's something behind that. But the thing now becomes like, well, do you like the plan? Christian's talked about it, but I haven't heard from you about it. Like, do you like this plan that they're releasing one trailer a week, leading to probably a full-on trailer in the fourth week over this Christmas holiday and New Year's Eve? Do you like this idea? Does it make sense to you? And you look at it as a marketing standpoint?
I don't hate it. I think the only thing that pisses me off about it, I'm not actually mad at Marvel for doing this. I'm mad because I've always found the Avatar movies to be mid, and this feels like a fucking plan to get people to go see Avatar multiple times. It was already going to do that. So the only thing about it that kind of pisses me off, and I guarantee somebody said, win-win, 2 birds, 1 stone. Avatar 4 times, 4 different Avengers films, you make all the money. Like, that is what my gut is telling me. Is somebody was like, this is brilliant. And he's like, oh, it's not a bad plan. Why don't we just do it? And that's the only thing I'm not the biggest fan of. But otherwise, I don't think having the 4 different trailers is a bad thing. I just think it's interesting. Like, are they all going to connect together ultimately? Is it just teaser, and then ultimate teaser after kind of knowing a little bit about our 3 main actors? Questions. I got questions.
Well, that's what a lot of the people are reporting. The scoopers who have been reporting on this is that we're going to get Captain America starting Thursday. Then I think it's
Thor next week. And
Thor next week, and then Doom
the following week, and then the full a month later.
The full trailer a month later. So I mean, I like the idea. I feel like Avatar doesn't need to get people into the theater because it's made over $2 billion the last one, both of them. And so to me, I'm just like, well, what is the logic here? And it seems like Marvel is the damaged brand who is borrowing some of Avatar's positive brand recognition with the audience to try to get people excited about Marvel again as they turn the corner. But already people are pushing back on this trailer, Winston, because it basically insinuates that Captain America is going to be the lead character in Doomsday.
Right.
And some people might bristle at that because they're bringing back all the old guys it's like bringing Phillip Rivers back almost to try to live the glory days.
Who actually played decently. It's just decent. I didn't say he played good. I said decent. Like enough that like I thought his old ass was going to be significantly worse because I've been watching Aaron Rodgers for the last season. And even though he's been playing consecutively, I just assumed I was like, you're older than Aaron Rodgers. You've been out of the game.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, this is gonna be ugly. But he held his own. I'll give him credit. But I don't know, man. I understand that Brave New World wasn't well received.
Yeah.
Got really middling reviews.
Yeah.
But this idea of just writing off Sam Wilson already kind of annoys me because yes, Steve of the two of them is the bigger of the characters.
Right.
But you really didn't give this time to marinate all that much. You had a up down like strike plagued movie that's been kind of all over the place. And then you're just ready to move on and be like, well, we're going to give Steve the title back. It just, at the end of the day, I don't think it's something that Marvel is actively doing to like be racist or anything like that. Or like, well, we gave the black man a shot and he screwed it up. But it does at the same time, by doing that, there is a level of giving those actual people that are racist that have been clamoring.
Yeah.
The Captain America is always white. It's always Steve and it's nobody but Steve. Like it gives them fuel is the problem. That may not have been their intention, but unfortunately those assholes are going to run with it. That's always how that goes. Is you may not have intended to do something, but somebody will take your shit and run with it.
And that's not what you want to do, right? Exactly. What I think is a great point you make. You don't want to give them fodder for their racism and almost in a sense court it by doing this move. And I would say Anthony Mackie is hard done by one, an underwritten show that was cut by COVID, and two, a film that came out that had too many cooks in the kitchen and was trying to adapt to a changing landscape rather than having the guts to stick by its guns. They made it a Red Hulk story, not a Captain America story. So they haven't done right by Anthony Mackie with the content they've produced with him as Captain America. Right. And so to blame that on people say, well, they clearly don't want a black Captain America. If you had made the Black Panther version of Captain America, I fucking guarantee you people would want more of a black Captain America. So
1,000%.
Yeah, and that's where the mistake lies. And I think they're just trying to cut their losses and bring back the old timers to see if maybe they can do it one more time. And I think it's a hell of a gamble, man. And that trailer that I saw was not that exciting. It's just Steve doing his thing, and there wasn't much to it at all. So it seems almost like a letdown.
It was him looking at his past, and then him looking at his present / future, and then that was it. And it was the funny thing is the tweet I saw was somebody being like, "Wow, Marvel really is down bad if you brought in what should have been a really touching moment for Steve, and I felt nothing." And I was like, damn, that's kind of wild if people are feeling that. But I'm sure there are plenty of people that are like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. Skywalker says, has Anthony Mackie been a good lead actor in anything good? Yeah. I think The Banker was damn good. He's been good. I mean, he was great foil for Eminem. He's essentially the lead antagonist in 8 Mile. I thought Mackie is good in that as well. He's a good actor. People,
I agree. No, I think he is. I think people will potentially say one thing or another about like how he occasionally has like acted, not as an actor, but like as a person. Like I know that one of the things that for a while, because I don't remember what movie did it, for a while he wouldn't meet with any like black journalists or publications. Something happened. I don't know if it was about a haircut or something. Right. And so for like a little bit of time, because I remember I was super excited. It was one of my first major pressers. Yeah. And, it was for Civil War. And I met all the cast. Everybody was paired off with like the person they mainly interacted with. So Elizabeth Olsen was at the time with Jeremy Renner, just because, he was the one that like saves Wanda from Vision and like it would help her run off and all that. Chadwick was with Paul Bettany just because they were like the two newest faces. Chris Evans was by himself. But then Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie were paired together. And I didn't get to interview either one because he actively was like, I'm not doing like that's what I was told. He didn't tell me to my face. That was what I was told, is that you're allowed to go to every single one but this one. And then I was on the down low. Somebody on the side was like, yeah, it's like a thing right now. And I was kind of devastated because I was just like, dude, outside of T'Challa, like I am most excited to talk to you, but
yeah,
obviously he'll never know that. Like it's not, he wasn't like, I didn't talk to him.
Right.
But I have heard random things. I mean, I've seen him on the streets, like when people ask him for an autograph, and I've said that like if people want to be left alone, they want to be left alone. But him telling people off there and be like, no, I'm not doing that right now. But then we've also seen him like be in interviews and talk some really sound advice. We've heard about him like being really kind, especially once he became Captain America, and how he like has been inspiring young Black kids and things like that. So like, at the end of the day, I would say he's human. So he's got his good and he's got his bad. I wish he had gotten more time.
Yeah, I know. And we'll see how it all plays out. And I hope they deal with it. And I hope they deal with it in a way that makes sense, and have some sort of scene or interaction. Because if they pull that Don Cheadle shit, I'm here, I'm different, let's move on. I don't think that's going to be good for the film itself. Like, hey, I'm back. It's cool. Oh, I'm glad you're back. I'm going to go back to being Falcon. Like, I just don't understand. Or there's two Captain Americas, I guess, which is a real commentary, an accidental commentary about two different Americas, a Black America and a white America. So it could slide into that, Winston.
It's also possible, in all honesty, it's also very possible that Steve dies super quick. Like it's possible that we tease all this and you take him out.
Yeah.
Which, or maybe that's not even our Steve. We don't actually know yet. Different. So maybe that Steve is one that teams up with Doom because, that other Steve done fucked up the timeline. So maybe Steve's kid also gets screwed up because of whatever our Steve did to go back in time and be with Peggy. You don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know until we actually have seen it.
Yeah. Does he go into another universe? That is actually a really interesting point. So we will see for sure when that all goes down. All right, let's move on to this other story here. Winston, this is interesting. James Gunn coming out, speaking out to defend his friend Dave Bautista, to essentially say that people need to stop talking about all these Brainiac castings situations because they're all false. He debunked them, well, his version of debunking, and said that he also doesn't want the people to focus on Dave Bautista because Bautista may not get it, and he doesn't want him to get upset about it overall here. He said, I addressed this one. Why I addressed this one in the post. Dave is a friend. I don't need a bunch of stories out there about why he didn't get the job or whatever when someone else is eventually cast. Now, he broke his own rule to do this, Winston, because he said he was not going to go on social media and address casting rumors anymore, but he did it on this one. I mean, he owns Dave Bautista's phone number. Why does he feel the need to publicly come out and try to say, hey, don't put these rumors on him? He's fine. It seems odd to do it in a public way. And then to shoot down Matt Smith, Claes Bang, and Sam Rockwell as the possible Brainiac casting decisions. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's funny because I don't think I can really put my finger anymore on like specifically how Gunn is moving. The only thing I know is that he just speaks very like hard on the sleeve, just off the cuff. So if something gets brought up, he's quick to do it, and he's always quick to defend his people, and I always appreciate that about him. I'm not anti the idea of him being Brainiac, but that wouldn't have been the character personally I would have put him in.
Right.
I think that there are other things that would have fit maybe a little better. I know he doesn't want to be constantly in crazy jack shape, but I think he would have been an awesome like Black Cat if he ever wanted to do that role. I think he would have crushed that. There is a world I highly, highly doubt it, especially because he's too old. But I think that he actually would have been a very interesting Batman because of his ability to brood.
Oh, yeah.
So that would have been kind of interesting too. I think that there's a number of various roles that he would fit. Hell, I even think he would be a fantastic Darkseid or a Hugo Strange. I don't like Brainiac is not what I would have thought of for him personally, but good on him on Gunn for being like, all right, guys, come on now. Like, come on. Let's stop. Like, it is what it is. I mean, people are going to speculate. I think he's got to just accept that. But I also think that if people were giving Batista shit about not getting it, then I appreciate Gunn for being like, yo, leave my boy alone.
Yeah, I feel like it's an interesting place to be in because, I mean, you have friends in the business and you know how the online culture can be. And I know this from interviews and conversations I've seen with Dave. Dave has a sensitive side to himself. For all his, bigness and bluster and the incredible work he did in the WWE as both a heel and a face during his runs there. What you always hear about with Dave is that he gets real hurt. Like when the fans turned on him years ago over the Daniel Bryan situation, he was legitimately upset.
Wait, what happened?
Well, the fans had the WWE wanted to push Dave Batista because he had the Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out. They were going to give him the title belt, so they brought him back to wrestle. But they brought him back to wrestle at a time when Daniel Bryan was becoming this grassroots favorite, and so the fans turned on Batista because they felt management, Vince, was shoving Batista down their throats instead of listening to them to give Daniel Bryan the shine. And so it became a drama behind the scenes, and it left a bad taste in Batista's mouth. And he said at the end that he's never coming back again. And he hasn't. And so it was a situation because the fans turned on him. The management didn't protect him because they went with the Daniel Bryan storyline, even after they convinced him to come back. And it was, it was just bad all around for everybody. And so he's clearly a sensitive guy. So maybe James understands that and felt the need to do this publicly. And I'm sure he did it personally as well, but publicly as well to kind of keep the heat off Dave a little bit. So,
No, I appreciate that. I mean, look, none of the casting rumors sounded good to me with the exception of Matt Smith. I think that he would have been great. But my personal choice would have been oh my God. I just forgot his name all of a sudden. Mr. Robot.
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek.
Yeah.
I think Rami Malek would be a fantastic Brainiac.
Okay.
Like kind of in the sense that like part of it is when you look at Mr. Robot, obviously he's like playing that kind of like autistic super genius.
Yeah.
Brainiac's a damn computer. Brainiac's just out here in these streets, just like calculating shit. Because then I think about him in The Last Bond.
Yeah.
And like how good he was in that too. I just can truly flip that less like global villain via means of money and technology and just straight technology and alien ruthlessness. Like I think Rami, but Matt Smith again, what I've seen out of him in House of the Dragon, both of those are great. I love Batista. I just don't think, knowing the character of Brainiac, that would have been the right choice personally.
Right. Fair point. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm sure an announcement is coming soon, man. Tomorrow starts shooting next year. So I'm sure we'll get some announcement. Maybe not before the end of the year, but coming into the new year, I'm sure there'll be something announced for that particular film. Well, let's move on to this. As Winston was hinting at this, and we should talk about it. Avatar Fire and Ash is coming out in a couple of days, and it is not doing that great with the Rotten Tomatoes crowd here. The number was released, and it is 71% on Rotten Tomatoes, and after 100 reviews, not 11, 100. And it's still, there's plenty of room for fluctuation. Way of the Water was 76%, and the original Avatar was 81%. But yeah, 71%. I personally didn't think the movie was that great, so I'm not surprised by that number. But I think this is an issue that maybe if this film comes out, it's a bit mixed. Maybe it's not going to hit that $2 billion mark, and maybe they sense that themselves. And we could circle all the way back to these trailers coming out to get people into the theater so they can hit that number. But your thoughts on this? 71% from 100 reviews for this Avatar Fire and Ash. Are you going to go see it?
I was supposed to go and see it tomorrow, but then remember, the thing I was talking about having too many jobs. One of my jobs decided to completely ignore my availability and schedule me in the middle of the screening. And I was like, cool. Awesome. Now I have to like turn around and figure this out at another time when I don't have any time because I'm about to leave for the holiday.
Right.
But like, I will see it eventually. I think it'll be the same thing for me that all Avatar movies tend to be. I feel like they are stunning.
Yeah.
But I always think that they're kind of, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing that blows me away story or character wise where I'm like, wow. But again, they're beautiful. They're interesting to see the different like communities. So to see the tree Navi versus the water Navi, I'm sure the fire Navi are probably interesting too. Like I think that the various creatures are all sound cool. So the world building in that regard, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the character development's all that good, or the story is. Like I thought the stories for those first two movies, again, were fine at best. And so that's why I rarely revisit them, because without seeing it on an IMAX screen, I'm just not pulled in as much.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with you. To me, they don't hold up to multiple rewatchings because the story is so weak. I mean, visuals are great and they're fun, but I expect more from James Cameron. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the Transformers films, I love the visual enjoyment. I just enjoy the visuals of those films, but I know the stories are not that strong, weak. Some of this dialogue is cheesy, but I don't go in expecting a lot from those movies. But going into Avatar, I am expecting a lot from James Cameron because A, he's an incredible filmmaker,
right?
And B, he's trying to make a commentary about the world and about hatred in the world and about us versus them and about, you know, native colonization, being colonized by people. So this is a much more important franchise from the approach that the filmmakers are taking. And I see people who go all the time, go, well, we don't go to Avatar for that. But that is literally the point of why James does these movies. Yes, the visuals are amazing because he wants things to look as great as possible, but he also wants like you to take away a message from these stories. And this one, I was so bored after the first hour and a half of this when I was powering through the screening, because it just wasn't my jam. The visuals were great, but the story was there's nothing new in the story you haven't seen in any other movie. And some of the beats repeated from the second film, like literally scene for scene in some sections.
That was the thing that I was concerned about, that I've heard people saying in some of these reviews, is that there is not a whole lot of difference story or beat wise from the first two. It almost kind of repeated itself, but not in like a, you know, the Star Wars trilogies kind of have their repeat, but it's like the second movie is echoing the second movie. The third movie is echoing the third movie, not like the third movie is echoing the first and second movie of this trilogy. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the big difference. And so I will go see it. I am excited to see it. I find it funny when people, like I see somebody in the chat right now talking about, oh, the pretentious movie snobs are the ones that hate Avatar. They're the ones that just don't. No, it's not that. It's that if I want to see replay value out of a movie, it needs to be so incredibly spectacularly ridiculous that I'm just like, I don't care. But the thing is, they're not. The Avatar films have, while they have that kind of visualization, have never focused so much on that, as in they are trying to tell this story that Cameron is telling. And so that means you would want the stories to be good. You know what I'm saying? To draw you back in. You need a balance of both. You need because like Wicked for Good is actually very visually very sound, and the singing is very good, but the movie's not great because, again, you didn't really have enough meat on the bone to make a whole second movie. So the story just kind of dragged and the character development dragged. And so like, you don't realize it until you look up and go, oh, the action parts get more interesting because I'm really drawn into the quiet moments.
Right.
So it's the same thing. If I'm just bored story or character wise in these movies, then okay, great. Awesome. Fire everywhere. Look at these new dragon creatures. Wow. But then at the minute that's over, if I'm just like, okay, now they got to talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not a good feeling. And that is what I am worried about.
I think that's fair. And that's the problem I had when I was watching it, you know, because it was like, oh man, I think the technology he uses to create the Navi, or the Navi, however you want to say it, is what keeps, for me, the acting from connecting with me. There is still a distance with the technology and the motion capture and all of that. You can just see like that it's still looking at CGI trying to act. It's almost a version of AI with the uncanny valley, and it doesn't quite work. And some of those emotional beats are overplayed because of the technology. And so you're seeing at times like real cheesy overacting in certain moments from some of the actors. And it's only when you get to the real live actors that you connect. Like Spider as the kid, I like him in both of these movies, and because I'm connecting to what he's doing. But when you're seeing Zoe Saldana, when you're seeing Sam Worthington and the actors who play the kids, even Kate Winslet, there is a bit of distance and a bit of a kind of like, oh, I'm not really connecting to what you're doing fully because I'm not buying what you, because there's extra beats and weird pacing stuff that goes on with that to me throws it off from feeling organic, and lived in.
The fact that because I if you go back and look right now, it's one of my most watched videos was my out of the theater reaction to The Way of Water. And I came out being like, hey, yo, this is wow. But all it took, as I have been prone to do at times.
Yeah.
If something, again, it has something so special about it, you sometimes can mask over the problems. And then when you step away, and so part of it too, they always kept pushing that when you go and see these movies, it's not, you're seeing them in 3D as well, because they've done all that tech, and it does look so it is will take your breath away.
Right.
So that's why then when it's time to just watch it on my TV at home, I have a nice TV, but I don't have anything super crazy special. I don't have no 8K anything. I think we have the most basic, the first iteration of 4K TVs is a hand-me-down from a homie. You know what I'm saying? So it's still nice and we have decent sound, but it ain't gonna hit the way 3D IMAX is. I don't have 3D here. So it doesn't, the spectacle is not as spectacle-y. So then now that thing that was this house of cards that was being held up by that all of a sudden isn't as strong. And especially when you consider, go and look at James Cameron's previous films where he was, in my opinion, his storytelling was insane. Yeah. So looking at Aliens, looking at Terminator 2, yes, they are visual masterpieces because of the technology he's pushing, but you're actually drawn into the character development and story of those more so than, in my opinion, than this. Again, I know there are diehard Avatar fans that will say, kill yourself. This is the greatest movie franchise of all time. And I love that for you. Okay. But there's a number of people that have said that they don't love these movies as much as they have loved other movies that James Cameron has put out. I mean, hell, fucking Titanic. I think Titanic is put on too high of a pedestal.
Overrated.
But that movie, but a little overrated, but not actually.
Right.
Because it genuinely is a masterpiece. I think he did a good job. The only thing I've ever said is, nah, bro, Jack could have been on that damn board. She was like, I can't take this poor ass back to America with me. Hell no. Uh-oh, Jack. That's
Yeah, I mean, and I want to say this, and I know some people get mad when I bring this stuff up, but I mean, after a third movie, I think the idea of having a white man telling a colonizer story, you're hitting the limits of the ability to understand the nuance of a story like this that you want to tell. If you don't have people on your writing staff who are, and I think it's just him who's writing these films, if you don't have people who understand the minutia and the little things that are involved with telling a story about colonization, and that it's the reason you're repeating the same beats is because you're telling the same general overall opinion. But if you keep introducing more tribes, you've got to deal with inter-tribe stuff that went on that goes on with natives, no matter where they are in the world, and how the pressure of colonization affects the inter-tribe communications, and how are they individualistic, and then how are they also battling with having agency to battle within each other. This is the thing where I think the film itself hit a wall as well. It becomes so white in its approach, in my opinion. I guess I don't want to say white. What is it? It becomes so obviously regular human that there is no nuance and no specific ethnicity or culture to these separate tribes, other than one element here, one element there, but specifically and I think that's where the film kind of felt a little like the franchise rather is kind of exposing the limits with what the story they can tell.
Well, you've seen the third one. And because I was going to say, I actually thought that they did a pretty good job of why they would not accept them at first, and how there was a split between those that were living in the trees and those that had moved to live in the ocean. But if what you're telling me is that they don't really differentiate that much between the fire tribe and the water tribe, other than that they don't like each other either, then that's not as good, because then that sounds like a step backwards. And that,
well, I mean, if the fire tribe becomes the fire tribe because fire came in and destroyed them, and they started to worship the thing that destroyed them, then there has to be a connection to the colonization of the planet with fire. So let's explore that. Let's explore the nuance of that. But that's where I think Cameron gets at times a bit lost, because it's all about exploring the beauty of this world and not really dealing with the fact that people want to come in science-wise, military-wise. I mean, Ribisi is back, but like the big corporation stuff, it's not really delved into as strongly as it should be if you're going to have that character still be a part of the story. So these are the things that I thought held the film back from being really good or interesting or complex. And it's frustrating because it's a 3-hour and 14-minute movie. You tell me you couldn't put that in there?
Oh, God, it's 3:14.
It's 3 hours and 14, bro. And every minute of those 3 hours and 14, if you know what I mean. Every minute.
Jesus. But like, I know people that love it. I'm not going to yuck other people's yum. If that's your thing, more power to you. I hope it is exactly what you're looking for. And I hope you go all 4 times, not because you want to see the Avengers trailers. You just want to see Avatar. I genuinely like wish nothing but the best for you. Yeah. It's just not truly for me, but I am planning on seeing it. It is one of the biggest movies of the year, and it is still good enough that I want to have said I saw this movie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah, totally.
It's not like someone's trying to force what was a bad movie that came out this year? There's been plenty, but my brain is just kind of gone completely off the rails at this point. Let me pull my media list, because I'm gonna give a little sneak peek in the movies that I did not rock with this year. Like, it's not like it was gonna be like Heads of State or The Electric State wasn't very good.
Oh, The Electric was bad.
A lot of movies with the word state in it didn't do very well.
Him is terrible.
Him wasn't good. And like, the funny thing is, and like I said, I got to step back.
Yeah.
I think that the acting by Marlon and what's his name? Is it Tyreek?
Oh, yeah.
I think their acting is great. I think that movie is narratively a mess. And like, at the time I was like, nah, man, support Jordan and support Marlon. And then 2 days later, when I did my full review, I was like, this movie's not very good. Like, let's just call it a buck. It's not very good.
It's a shame. It's a shame, because I liked the concepts presented in that movie.
Yes.
And I think they wanted to explore what it's like to be a black product in a white dominated sports world, and the pressure to turn on each other. Like, there was so much that was presented that I was like, ooh. And then they didn't explore. They went any given Sunday with it, and they should have gone much more darker and deeper into that, which would have been the way that would have been exciting to see.
Yeah, I think I mean the other problem is people keep thinking that Jordan directed it or wrote it, and he didn't. His production company just produced the thing.
Right.
He really had nothing to do with it but his name being on there. So it was wild that like some people were like, it was mainly people in the movie trying to big up themselves, be like, this is Jordan Peele's greatest movie. First of all, he really didn't have much to do with it. So what are we talking about?
That's true. All right, well, let's move out of the world of entertainment. Let's get into this, brother man. What is going on with Sherrone Moore? I think you and Jay were live when this was all breaking out last week. I tried to watch you guys talking about this. Dude, this is madness on so many levels. This story of Sherrone Moore there at the University of Michigan getting fired, having had an affair with his executive assistant, I think she was, got her pregnant, paid for the abortion, but then they broke up and she revealed the relationship, but there are people who came out and said they had suspected the relationship for quite some time. And then he went to her house, allegedly broke in, allegedly held himself at knife point, then escaped, and then it was eventually arrested and even resisted arrest. And it was and then was DMing OnlyFans models during the court case, and then after the court case, during the game against Ohio State, allegedly,
bro.
And this has been a tough situation, bro. Like, tough.
He's cooked. I think the other thing about it that's actually kind of sad. And some people are going to be like, why you always got to take it there? Because it's the truth. This may be a scenario where Michigan will never have another black coach. Like, knowing that he was I believe he was the first one, or at least he was pretty high profile to have a meltdown of this caliber, bro. Yeah. There's a reason why a lot of minority groups and I mean, well, women, minorities, all that, like, when you're the first to do something, your grandma, your grandpa, like your parent, they have drilled in your head. Don't you fuck this up.
Yes.
Another one for 50 years. Don't you fuck this up. And that's also why I think, at least for me, and you can tell me from a Latino standpoint, it hurts that much more when like a black successful individual really crashes and burns, because it's like, it's the Tyra Banks. It's we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you because people will use that shit as an excuse. You know what I'm saying? They'll be so quick to be like, this is exactly why we don't do this. This is exactly why we don't do this. So he's clearly one of two things: a very evil person or a very broken person. And both are very sad. Like, either he is a psycho and needs to see the inside of a jail for a while, or like he had a full-blown mental breakdown crash out over. I mean, now mind you, he cheated, so and was stupid enough to cheat with somebody on staff. Like, you shouldn't cheat at all, but you know that, especially in those scenarios, like you didn't see what they did to Ume Udoka and shit. Ran his ass out of town. You don't think other men have not been in that situation? I get it. You're walking around all the time. Oh, she right there. And she's so cute, man. She knows football and shit and blah, 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 blah. Nigga, if you don't take your ass to a sports bar, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it.
Go home.
Go home. What was the Tupac song from the future from Chappelle? Dave Chappelle, that ain't your wife. Like, that's like, I literally want to just tell him that. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, that sketch was amazing.
That was probably my favorite of the lost episodes, was the Tupac song after Tupac was dead. Rest in peace, Tupac. Okay, I will.
Oh, it was so great. Rapping about everything that's in the club. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
The girl with the mini skirt has bad taste. That shirt don't match. Plus, she got a pudding stain on her back. Man, what the fuck is that? It might be doo-doo. Like,
oh, man. That sketch is so great. I don't know. It's, for me, the Latino thing is different, obviously, because I mean, I think with the black experience, having, had many black friends growing up with black people in my life, black family members, talking to them, hanging out at their house, my friends' houses, growing up, that was the conversation all the time. Like, at a very early age in Virginia, I was exposed to the expectations of the black life versus the white life, the Latino life, the American life. The black life is different. You have to be better. You have to not make mistakes. You have to work twice as hard, sometimes 3 times as hard to get noticed. And then if you mess the opportunity up, you're messing it up for not just you, but for everyone else behind you who's coming behind you, who would want a shot at that, who is black. And so I've known that from a very early age. So when I see, first of all, he gets hired to replace Harbaugh, and of course he was on the staff, so he gets elevated. I was like, oh, wow, this is great. Just like with Notre Dame, when they got their black head coach, Franklin, a few years ago, I was like, this is great. But I also know what comes with that, which is the pressure of the boosters, who are predominantly white and, yes, sometimes racist. The fan base, which is predominantly white and, yes, sometimes racist or mostly racist. Or not most of it, but sometimes racist. And you see, so there's pressure, right? So there you have to perform. And if you're not strong enough, you will break. And it seems like this is what happened here, because Sherrone even said this in some interviews, that he felt people were coming after him. So either that's paranoia, or he was having a slow, legitimate mental break from reality. And all of this popping up at the same time was what just kind of sent him down into the hole. Dude, and for all that, I felt so bad for him sitting there in the court, shivering as they were reading the charges out. I felt bad for him. And I know people are making mad, but like, I know he cheated. I know he brought this upon himself. I know he threatened to kill himself, but I still felt bad seeing
kill this woman. Like,
to kill the woman. Yes.
But that's why I was saying he's either evil, or he had a mental breakdown, and both are sad because anytime I see like true evil in that regard, like someone that has no regard for life or anything else like that,
right?
Yeah, I get angry, but I also get sad because it seems it's like a bunch of wasted potential. It's the fact that like if you're in that position and you're putting people in that kind of threat, like somebody was looking out for you to be in this position to do that in the first place. Like there's a certain level of just like, God damn, this is fucking wasted. You know what I mean? And so I again, I was watching who had a terrible take about this was Shady McCoy. He's over on Speakeasy with Acho, and he was like, nah, man, let him go. He ain't do no run. It's like, yo, Shady, like, bro, he's like, come on, people cheat all the time. You just gonna do him like this because he cheat? I was like, Shady, again, he cheated at work and he threatened to kill himself and the mistress.
That's the extra line. That's the extra line. Yeah,
he needs to go to jail. You're just gonna put him in jail for cheating? No, you're gonna put him in jail because he threatened someone's life.
Yeah.
That is why he goes to jail. Now, because he obviously did not ultimately hurt her,
right?
Instead of like getting a life sentence for murder, he might get like I don't know what the time is for kidnapping and aggravated assault and threatening somebody's life, but he might get a couple years for that shit. And truthfully, he should. Like you don't go around threatening people to kill people with knives. You just don't.
Especially when you brought it upon yourself by cheating on your wife with her and getting her pregnant and all of the stuff allegedly and all the stuff that went down allegedly between them. Like that's the thing at the end of the day. This is he brought this on himself, and that's the sad truth of it all. But you hope he gets the help. You hope he kind of climbs back out because I'll be goddamned. White college coaches have done some crazy shit through the years, punching their athletes.
Absolutely.
Urban Meyer fondling a young blonde in that bar, getting caught on video. Like, the shit Bobby Petrino pulled when he was a fucking coach. Like there's a lot of white coaches that pull some terrible shit. Now, threatening to kill someone and threatening to kill themselves. No, I haven't seen a lot of that. So there is different circumstances in that way, but I hope he gets the help he needs. Cause clearly, dude, he broke,
Yeah. No, that's where I ultimately stand. I just hope he gets the help that he needs. Cause he clearly needs help.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the NFL, brother. Let's stay in the sports world here. What so many great games over the weekend. Josh Allen and these Bills fighting off the Patriots, getting the victory over them was one of the highlighted games of the weekend. But, dude, we also had the Buccaneers losing to the Falcons. Now, this is such an interesting situation. The Bears took care of the Browns. Shador came back to earth in that game. The Ravens crushed the Bengals, pretty much ending maybe Joe Burrow stay in Cincinnati. We will see. The Raiders beat the Chiefs, knocked out Patrick Mahomes with an ACL and LCL injury. And then we lost Micah Parsons to an ACL injury playing the Broncos with Bo Nix doing a great job there as well, leading the Broncos to a victory over the Packers. And then we had a number of games here with the Commanders beating the Giants. So great. But now Jaden's out for the year. The Eagles crushing the Raiders. The Jaguars smashing the Jets. The Texans looking stronger and stronger every week, destroying the Cardinals 40-20. The Rams taking care of business against the Lions. The Saints squeaking out a win over these Panthers divisional games, man. The 49ers getting the victory over the Titans. The Seahawks squeaking out past an old Phillip Rivers a victory. The Vikings taking care of your Cowboys, unfortunately for you, brother. And then the Steelers last night looking good again, taking out those pesky Dolphins with Tua possibly benched for the rest of the season. So what do you want to talk about? What stands out to you? What are your feelings on this week?
I mean, I think that I think I'm glad that I was as drunk as I was when it was actually time for the Cowboys game, because like that was like my birthday acknowledge or birthday what is it observed was Sunday, because that's when I did my party. And so I saw all of the morning and afternoon games. It was like, oh shit, oh that's crazy, oh my god, oh my lord. And then got home because the whole first part was at a bar, the last part was at my spot, and all the people came over. I've been drinking all day, so I don't even really remember. I just remember looking at it, being like, man. And then I went back to talking to somebody, and I was originally going there to watch this game, and then it became nope, never mind. So yeah, I just glad that's over. We can put it to bed. We still have a 1% chance. Because like what needed to happen is if we were going to lose, the Eagles also needed to lose. Like we needed to win and have the Eagles lose. So we really needed us both to screw up here. I think the Bills made it very clear that they're tired of people talking about them as they're the past tense.
Yeah.
I think that the Bears are very serious contenders. I think that the Saints actually might have a quarterback, bro. Like I don't think I don't think he's like elite, but I think he has some serious promise that like you put a solid team around him. Like, I mean, you took out the division leader in the Panthers, like who have been rolling. So like there's something to be said that like Kellen Moore's kind of getting his feet under him and Tyler was out there like kind of balling and stuff. So if you can get him some weapons, upgrade that defense, the Saints could be a problem. And then the Saints taking care of the Colts, that was a little too close for my liking. And that's where I go back to, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Sorry. The Seahawks. I'm not worried about the Seahawks defense. They did their job, kept them to 16 points.
Right.
Why is Sam Darnold turning back into a pumpkin?
Because we're getting to the end of the year when he turns into a pumpkin.
And that was kind of my whole thing. He is turning back into a pumpkin. It was all field goals, my dude. Like seriously? Y'all could not work out. Like, yes, the Colts defense is good, but like you were quote unquote supposed to be hold on a second. You were the one you're supposed to, you had an MVP season at the start of the season, and now it's just
it may be fool's gold, man, because you look at they did the business with the Jags and the Texans, but they had also right after they had lost to the Buccaneers. But you look at that, they've been feasting on the Falcons, the Vikings, the Titans before they took on the Colts, and the Colts nearly did it. And don't give me that it's because it was a new quarterback in Phillip Rivers or whatever. Like the Colts defense stepped up and was trying to get them to win that game, and Darnold looked pretty messed up through most of that game in trying to lead that team into a touchdown. And as you said, 6 field goals. So once again, we have questions about Sam Darnold as we come to an end of a season. Is he going to blow it again for these Seahawks to the first round of the playoffs? And so there's questions to be had all around, man. But what are your thoughts on the ACL injuries for both Micah Parsons and Patrick Mahomes, man? Like, which one is worse for the franchises, and what do you anticipate is going to happen next for both of these guys as they go into their recovery?
So I think the sad thing is if that trade for Micah was the missing piece, that sounds like the Packers are done.
Yeah.
Which is, that sucks for them. Like this, they seem like they were like, because Jordan Love was kind of all over the place. He was very Jekyll and Hyde all season, but he finally felt like he was figuring it out the last few games. I think that kind of axes their ability to go the distance. And then for the Chiefs weren't going to be going to the playoffs anyway. Like, let's keep it a buck. They were losing that game already. They were driving down the field, sure. But like, even if you essentially had to win out. So it was only, you essentially started the playoffs like 4 weeks early. So like, it was only a matter of time before that was going to be done. I think what the real sad part is obviously Patrick Mahomes will be back. Like nobody's worried about that.
He's only 30. Yeah.
Right. And if you look at it, it actually is mirroring some Tom Brady-esque stuff pretty closely of like
same year. Won
3 chips, tore the knee in the same year.
Yep.
Like, and then Brady came back and was even stronger than before. So like, it's very possible that's what Patty will do, but this also means the Chiefs are in full rebuild. Like, is that the last time that Patty throws to Travis?
Yeah.
Clearly these receivers ain't doing it. Like they either need to get stronger quickly or they got to throw some of these dudes out and go get some other guys. Like you got to fix that O-line. Chris Jones is probably almost about done. Like they're going to need to do some major retooling. And so the other question is too, does Andy Reid want to keep doing this and stick around to do that? Or is he you know what? Cause he's been coaching head coaching for 25 years or something like that. Yeah. I could also see him being like, you know what? It was a good run. I'm gonna call it. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, he's young for a coach. He's only 67. And I know that like you got a lot of the coaches that are like chilling in there. Like he's not young like the young coaches, but there's like 70-year-old coaches out here in these streets, and Pete Carroll in his 80s, like, But that is, I think, the most interesting part. I don't even want to troll our homie, but I've noticed that he hasn't been around for a minute. He ain't said nothing.
Where are you, Sean? Where are you, Shawnee?
Where is Sean,
where are you?
Nobody is rubbing anything in, but I'm just like, are you okay?
Come on,
because it's been a rough season. Rocha and I were essentially Max Kellerman when he said that Brady was going to fall off a cliff. We were just too many years too early. We've gotten here now. This is officially it, man. So I hope you're okay.
Speaking of which, dude, there is no way that show, Max Kellerman and Rich Paul, lasts the season. Like this, I'm watching Max Kellerman take Rich Paul to school almost every clip I see on this show, and it is crazy to me. I don't know if Rich Paul's got what it's. I mean, this guy, Maxwell is almost playing with him like he's a bunny rabbit. Like this guy's used to going toe to toe with Stephen A. Smith. Like this is, I don't know, man. I don't know if you've seen any clips, but their argument over Michael Jordan and LeBron, and he tried to throw Steph Curry in the same level as Michael Jordan. It's like, what are we talking about here? So it's an interesting show, bro. I don't know where it's gonna go, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, I like what the Bills showed in their victory over the Patriots. I like that the Patriots felt like they were going to win this thing 21 up by 21 points. I've told you guys, Vrabel can choke. Vrabel choked multiple times at Tennessee. I think there might be something in the playoffs. Don't be counting your chickens before they hatch that they're going to get to the Super Bowl. Vrabel has a tendency to outcoach himself at times, and I think when they were up 21-0, they all laid back. And Josh Allen, there's nothing Josh Allen loves more, maybe besides Haley Steinfeld, is a deficit. He loves being down because it just kind of motivates him and wakes him up, and you see what he can do. So I'm excited to see what is going to happen with him. I'm telling you, the Texans, that is my dark horse pick. They just handled those Cardinals even more so. I got a feeling, man, if that team is starting to find its rhythm, everybody better watch out in the AFC. That team can destroy you.
Because CJ Stroud looks like he's finally getting out of his funk.
Yes.
And if that's the case, then everybody's on notice because the defense is the best defense in the league. So, the only other people that are mixing it up with them defensively, I mean, one of them was the Packers, and they're not that. Obviously, no Micah, you're in trouble. The Broncos, but I trust CJ Stroud more than I trust Bo Nix.
I agree.
And then I'm trying to think who are the other defensive. I mean, the Browns, but you don't have a good of enough team, and you're out of the playoffs, so that doesn't help. Right. And then the Seahawks. And again, I trust. It's hard to say. I guess I say I trust CJ Stroud in the playoffs more than I do Sam Darnold, even though it feels like Sam Darnold has been playing more consistently. He's doing that like Dallas Cowboys quarterback thing. He's very consistent in the regular season, but then when the spotlight is on him, and so Nick Wright on Fox Sports called this out. He said, you watch Sam Darnold play in like a 1:00 game that like nobody's really watching and shit like that, bro will put up 5 touchdowns, 500 yards, no interceptions, run in 2 touchdowns. But the minute it's like, oh, it's Sunday Night Football and everybody's watching, like the spotlight comes on and he starts to like panic. And so I like, and because that was like kind of the game of the week. Yeah, they won. But you saw the panic come out because they weren't even necessarily watching to watch him. They were watching because they were like, is Phillip Rivers going to do it? So then that mindset was, can he outduel this 44-year-old quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Like, so the spotlight was on and yes, he didn't have any turnovers. Yes, he threw 22 out of 36, but you didn't throw any touchdowns. You didn't look super dynamic or anything else like that. And a lot of that was ultimately Jackson Smith and Jimba just being JSN. You know?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I think we can put the fork in the Colts. I don't think they're going to be able to kind of ride this thing out and get into the playoffs. The question becomes, do the Ravens find a way to sneak into this thing? And I got to be honest with you, when I look at the Texans, the Bills, the Chargers, and the Steelers, like the Steelers is obviously the only way they're going to get in. I think the Ravens are if they win the division. I don't think the wild card is even remotely in play for the Ravens right now because these other teams are just too strong that are ahead of them. and they have too many losses to catch up to them, in my opinion. The Texans aren't going to lose 3 in a row, or the Bills aren't going to lose 3 in a row to make it even. So the only chance they have is, I think, Pittsburgh. And Aaron Rodgers looked damn good last night, so he might have turned that corner for the Pittsburgh, and maybe getting in playoff mode already. So it's going to be interesting when they play each other in a couple of weeks.
I don't believe that, just because that age thing keeps creeping back in, because he's had other games like this season where he's like going off, and then all of a sudden he's hearing ghosts. Like, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, like, he's like, ah, and he's like flinching to get it out of there. Now, I could be wrong. He could get to playoff time, and it was like, fine, I'm going to buck up for the rest of this. But like, I again have more faith that Lamar will snap out of it, because and just have the youth on his side to be able to do that, than I do Aaron necessarily doing anything. So it'll be interesting to see what ultimately happens. But yeah, they are the same version essentially of the NFC East, except they're closer. They're only separated by a game, versus we're back by now, I think 2.5.
Yeah,
something like that.
And I think in the NFC, it's going to be interesting to see if Tampa Bay or Carolina gets in. Right now, Tampa Bay has the lead because of the tiebreaker, but they have identical records. So one of these young quarterbacks in Bryce or Baker are not going to get into the playoffs. And if Baker's out again, it's going to suck. But then I'm kind of cheering for Bryce. Everybody wanted Bryce kicked off the team and sent to packing, and I want to see what happens, you know.
They really wanted him out, and he has fully been able to, like, he got the right coach. Like, he got a little bit of confidence last year. He got the right coach this year. He's rolling, man. And so I just want to see him continue to develop and get better. Because he seems like such a good and like humble dude. He works hard, and it just was kind of sad. It was just like, you just suck.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens with Tampa Bay, because Mike Evans was not fucking happy on that sideline when they lost. So that could cause problems in the locker room. We will see. All right, let's get some questions, Winston, before we get on out of here. Thank you, everybody who sent in some Streamlabs questions. Carlton Runner joining us from London. He says, London calling. John, I loved your Rob Reiner episode the other day. Oh, thanks. They did that last night live. When you think, should I go live, what would Nike do? You make a difference to us all. Oh, thank you, Carlton. That's very kind. Yeah, I said last night that sometimes I talk myself out of going live because I don't know if anybody's going to watch or anybody gives a shit about what I have to say. It's my own internal battle. So I appreciate you guys saying nice things like that to encourage me to do it more. So we'll see. We'll see. But I do want to do more live shows, so we'll see. But thank you, Carlton. Night Fox 1190 says, who's your favorite Street Fighter? And Andrew Schultz called out the MK, the Mortal Kombat cast of the Game Awards. Would both movies benefit and make more money from a rivalry? Ooh, Winston A., your thoughts?
I mean, they definitely would make more money from a rivalry. Like, that was the same thing back in the day of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. And Mortal Kombat's more extreme than Street Fighter. Like, they got fired too, but then they actually on fire. Like, you know, no, I think it would be a good thing. I still actually haven't seen the Street Fighter trailer. I need to watch that. I was gonna react to it, and then I got busy, and it was around my birthday. Like, I was just like, I got other shit to do. So, but I heard they're going for like kind of full camp on it, more or less.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's to cover the limited acting abilities of some of the cast, for sure.
Fair.
I have two fly cams. Says Donald Trump blockading more oil off Venezuela, war imminent. Probably, because the Epstein files come out in 2 days. And he apparently has a 6 p.m. Presentation or speech tomorrow night, or 3 p.m., I guess, our time, 6 p.m. ET. Like, that is happening tomorrow night. He's probably going to announce a war to try to distract us from the Epstein files. I wouldn't be surprised. What do you think, Winston?
I wouldn't be surprised if that, because that's his game plan. It's flood the zone. Literally, if you're putting 8 men in the box, that's what you're doing. If you do that, then it's hard for people to like run away with a particular story. And so he constantly go look at any time he said something or done something insane or egregious or whatever. It was typically because he was hiding an executive order or a policy that he wanted to get away from, or there was some bad news about him that he was trying to wash over. He does that a lot.
Yeah. He's already talked. He posted something today about the blockading Venezuela, and he is trying to intimidate Maduro into all of it. So it just gets worse and worse.
Iraq War all over again, man. If you look at the comparisons of how they're taught, like Jon Stewart did an incredible breakdown of it. Not yesterday, but last Monday, where he was just like, beat for beat, they are saying the exact same shit.
Yeah,
they're like, now they're calling fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? And they're like, they have weapons of mass destruction. We have to go and stop them. Like,
they have yellow cake. They have yellow cake. We gotta go stop them.
Do you know what I could do with this yellow cake? Got it wrapped up with a special CIA napkin. Like, it's just Jesus Christ, man. Quote all day. Good Lord.
Oh yeah. Reggie Brown, 9508 says Coach Sherrone Moore is on some ish. No, or D is good enough to ruin your no. Oh, I see what you're saying. No Kitty or D is good enough to ruin your career over. Yep. I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%. Got to keep it in your pants. And so I saw someone posting, well, if I lost $30 billion, I'd crash out too. No. You lost $31 million. They didn't take it away from you.
Exactly.
So you crashed out by cheating on your wife. You get no sympathy from me on that.
And the funny thing is it's not even necessarily that. You did it because you did it with the staffer, and their one rule is do not fraternize with your coworkers, especially in the position of a head coach, which means you're in the highest level of power.
Excellent point.
Technically his wife could have taken him to the cleaners, but he would have still had his job.
Right.
You know? But you specifically broke the HR rule. So they said, get out. And now you're broke.
Of all the people you could have slept with, you slept with someone in the staff which you knew put your money in jeopardy. Why would you do that? Yeah. CC Black says, I'm ready for Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah, we will see very soon.
Ready to.
All says, let Downey, Hemsworth, and Evans close the door on this version of the MCU. Only right since they started it. Reboot after Secret Wars. Mutant Saga is coming. They already closed the door, though, CC Black. That's what I'm getting. They already closed the door at the end of Doomsday, at the end of Endgame. Literally called Endgame. They already closed the door. They're bringing them back to reopen the door and hit the greatest hits before they walk out again.
The funny thing is I would have always been okay with them coming back in some sort of fashion in this next major event, especially because it's multiversal.
Right.
But it needed to be more of an honestly of like, oh shit, there's the homies.
Right,
versus what now feels like, oh, the homies in charge again. Oh, okay,
the homies are coming to save us. Apparently.
Like you're making Doom's main rivalry be Steve Rogers, not Reed Richards. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like honestly, that'd be like, hey man, you know what? Batman, like he that dude. So we're not gonna have Lex Luthor square off against Superman. No. Batman and Lex Luthor are gonna fight. That's how we gonna do this. What? No. Like occasionally, but overall, no.
Yeah, agreed. Tim Sim, what's up, Tim? Says, good or bad, given Fire and Ash's Rotten Tomato percentage of positive reviews and box office projections, the wait between Fire and Ash and Avatar's fourth film will be 4 years. Yeah, possibly longer, Tim. Because James keeps hinting that he might walk away from this for a long time before he comes back. And he doesn't want anyone else to direct an installment. So we might have to wait a lot longer.
It's his baby.
It's his baby, right. And the kid's got to grow up, because I guarantee you this will be maybe one more with Worthington and Zoe Saldana, and then they're going to move on to making the kids the focus and the main character. So we'll see. Matt Maker Studio says, hey, guys, did you ever collect anything when you all were kids? Yeah, comic books. What about you, Winston?
VHSs,
right on.
Video games for sure. I haven't let it go of a lot of them. I mean, a lot of the stuff you see behind me on the wall,
wow.
There's some comics, certain action figures and stuff like that. Like Magic cards, Magic the Gathering, a little bit of everything.
Respect. Yeah. All it's just comics for me. I couldn't handle collecting anything else.
Fair.
I broke stuff all the time. So Tim Nelson says, sounds like at this point, James Cameron's magnum opus will forever be Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Because I'm realizing that he obviously has been around forever.
Yeah.
But he actually hasn't, if we think about it, done hella films, right? He's been very particular about what he ultimately does, which I respect. Yeah, he's only done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this will be movie number 10.
Yeah.
And he's been active since 82.
Since the 80s. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like he has other stuff that he has done. I just opened up his credited. So like there was Xenogenesis, but I guess that was a short film.
Right. And the documentaries he's done as well. Yeah.
And then others, like he's written plenty of other stuff.
Right.
But he pretty much just, he only directed every now and again.
But I disagree with you, Tim. I like Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I think it's good. But Edward Furlong irritates me in that movie, so I don't go back and watch it a lot. My magnum opus is Aliens. I think that's the greatest film James Cameron's ever directed. Dialogue-wise, character-wise, direction-wise, score-wise, and the overall story. It's so tight, that story. So I would put that higher, but I respect it. I also love The Abyss, which is I think is a complicated film, but I think it's one of his greatest films as well.
You know what's funny, because I'm looking at it and I think I understand why he also slowed down. Is like, if you think about it, Piranha 2 was 82.
Yeah,
Terminator was 80. Terminator was 84. Rambo was 80. Rambo First Blood Part 2 was 85. Aliens was 86. Abyss was 89. Judgment Day was 91. True Lies was 94. Strange Days was 95. Titanic was 97. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can also see him be like, God damn, I just went hard for 2 decades.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slow down. And so after Titanic, he takes off 5 years to do Solaris, and he's just a producer on that. He has, in actuality, he's developing Avatar. So the last movie he actually made himself from 97 all the way to 2009. So you waited 12 years before you get Avatar. He writes and produces Alita Battle Angel, but doesn't direct it. He's writer producer for Dark Fate, but he doesn't direct another movie from Avatar to Avatar 2 for 2022 from 2009. So another 13 years. So like, I think that's the whole thing. I think he just went so hard so fast. He probably was like, I've made a lot of money. I've won the awards. I'm good. I'm gonna do the things I like to do in life. And that was develop more technology and explore the ocean. Like,
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Well, he's like that YouTuber that did a lot of stuff at the beginning and then realized, wait, if I do one video a week and get 100,000 views on it, I'm good. I don't have to make content every day. So it's just that kind of thing sometimes.
There's one YouTuber, they do like video essays, like comedy video essays and stuff. And you go back and you look, and for a while they were doing, like you said, probably a video a week. And now they're out here doing maybe a video every month to 6 weeks.
Wow.
And all of those videos still do like 2-3 million views. I'm like, Jesus, that's nuts.
That's the life. That's the life. Yeah.
Right.
I could live off one video for 2 or 3 million every 6 weeks for sure.
Well, I'm curious what that payout is.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, could just be T2 and Titanic. Forgot Cameron did the 11 Oscar winner Titanic. Yeah, but Titanic also gets, I think fairly criticized for the dialogue and some of the script issues. But as Winston said, the filmmaking aspect of it is absolutely masterpiece level filmmaking for sure. I remember seeing it 8 times in the theaters in 97, 98, because I just was so blown away that he had built the ship to 9/10 the size of the ship to shoot the film on. It's mind blowing, so yeah.
Wild stuff.
Yep. Chris Corcoran says, could Trump pardon Nick Reiner? I could see it. Of course, Nick is the son of Rob Reiner, who sadly allegedly killed his great filmmaker father and his mom. No, because this would be a state crime, not a federal crime, and presidents can't pardon state crimes.
Right.
They can only pardon federal crimes.
Right.
So I don't think you do that, which is why Tina Peters is still in jail. Yeah.
No, dude, it's absolutely tragic. And, again, F Trump forever for what he said, dude. That was so disgusting.
Oh, such a clown. CC Black says the Thor trailer leaked. His prayer to Odin got to me. Oh, wow. They're all leaking now.
They're all leaking.
Who has access to this shit?
I am so curious who has access to all of this.
Why isn't people getting fired? Why are people getting named? CC Black also says, support for my DMV brother. Respect, CC. Yep. That's DC, Maryland, Virginia. Respect, bro. Appreciate that. All right, Winston, we should get on out of here. We're near the end of the show. Anything you want to talk about? We got a couple more minutes. We could hang out if you like, or we can wrap it on up here and head on out with our nights. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm good to like. Okay. I don't think that there's really anything else, just because I mean the only other thing, I think we covered all of it actually, because we talked obviously Rob Reiner for a little bit, and we talked Sherrone Moore, and like we went through it all. So no, I would just say specifically, man, like come and check me out over at the Swaggy Blurred. I started memberships over there, which is cool. So my first exclusive video should be out in like 2 days.
Nice.
And then the Blurred breakdown, I did it this morning, and I got to go back and look at the numbers. If people continue to watch it early in the morning, then I may have to make that a permanent adjustment, just because I do a lot of screenings Monday evenings. Yeah. But the Blurred breakdown, have you seen Song Sun Blue yet?
No, it's on the app. I got to watch that one next,
for the critics choice.
Yeah,
dude. It is it is a good movie.
That's what I hear.
It's a good movie. I was kind of shocked that Hugh didn't also get a nomination, but Kate definitely deserves it. And I am highly recommended. I did my non-spoiler in the Blurred breakdown. I was convinced not to put my spoiler out yet because it doesn't come out for another week, so I'm gonna wait and do it early next week. But yeah, check that out. Check out Capes and Cows. Check out Blurred's tomorrow. Demon Slayer, we're finishing up season 2 this weekend. And that's pretty much everything. I will be around next week, but I'm traveling all week, so a lot of the stuff will be pre-recorded. I will probably still be able to do the show with John if John's up to it. So we will see what happens, but much love to everybody and happy holidays.
Yeah, respect. Same thing, Winston, for sure. Back to you. Please, guys, follow me at The Rocha Says on all social media. Please subscribe to the channel down below and hit that bell button. And remember that this is an audio podcast channel as well. You can find all the shows except for Hot Mike and Geek Buddies on the John Rocha channel podcast streaming network, including this show that is on there every week. We'd love to get more people subscribe because it's not that many people subscribe. So we'd love to have you subscribe to it so we can actually get some sponsors on that podcast stream. It'll be a lot of fun. So please subscribe to that as well. All right. My brother Winston A. Marshall, I am John Rocha. Thanks for watching Spill the Tequila. We'll talk to you next week with a brand new live episode here on the channel. Peace until then.